Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode 139. Welcome, friends. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing stitching and knitting and quilting. Oh my, a little bit of haul, a little bit of Tiger Lily shop update, and lots of fun and storytelling intermingled throughout the video. Now, I am first want to say I'm sorry I was gone for 17 days. That is certainly not my intent. My intent is to always come back on Flosstube Fridays, but I was busy. I warned you guys I was going out of town. I had lots of fun. I have a little bit of story to tell you and a little bit of haul / fun to share. Like I said, let's dive into the fun. So it's a floss tube. I call it a floss tube, although it's more like a multi-craft tube. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to rename that because really, I'm just going to be sharing all my things, and that's just what I love to do. If it's your first time here, welcome. I would love for you to join the Tiger Lily family. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for coming back. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be discussing all kinds of things. I love to make, as you can see, I've got quilting and yarn and stitching and oh my, I love to make all things in the world of textiles, and I love to share with you and hopefully inspire you to make or do or give or all the things. So, but I do love to start with my stitching. If there is some stitching to share, because I call it floss tube, I feel like I should at least start with the stitching in case that's the only reason you're here. Some of my friends are just stitchers, and I love you just the same as my multi-crafters. But let's start with some floss tube stitching, right? Okay, so I only stitched on one thing this week because I did do lots of other things. So stitching was counting. Didn't really make the cut some days, most days. But what I did do is I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. She lives in this gorgeous bag by my sweet bestie, Shellie from Antique Needleworkers. This is one of her vintage quilt upcycled bags. Have you seen it? Do you know? Do you remember what's in that bag? I mean, she's been around for a while. Let's discuss, shall we? A Peacorn, AKA a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. Tons of friends are stitching this, and I always get inspired when I watch like Holly pulled hers out this week, or last video I watched of hers and she was getting a little progress on it. It always inspires me. I love that we just inspire each other to put some extra stitches in. Now I took my stitch one step further because I'm a little extra, and I did dye my own fabric. So my fabric is 36 count Zweigart based linen, but I did a 4 combination RIT dye. So if you like my fabric and you haven't started yet, the link to my Patreon is down below. This is a free post where I give you guys my recipe of dyeing. I am not a professional dyer by any means I'm not a professional at anything. I just do all the things. I love to do it. And so I dabbled in dyeing and I love the fabric. And I gave you my recipe. It's 3 different liquid RIT dyes and all the things and how I did it, if you want to try that. Otherwise, I know a lot of my friends are using the Evertote's Pub Crawl. Kind of hard to get. It's from Canada, all the things, but that's an option too. Another thing that I did that was extra, and that I'm going to share with you right here because I was able to, which is what I've decided now what I'm going to do. If I say it out loud, meaning if I tell you, my friends, what I'm going to do, it might encourage me to actually do it a little bit more. So that's what I'm hoping for. So when I started the pub crawl, now I dyed my fabric, I'm going to say about a year ago. It was either November, October, somewhere around this time, 1 year ago is when I dabbled into let's find the perfect fabric. I knew I was going to use the Vicki Clayton silks, so I am using the Vicki Clayton silk thread collection, but I was not going to stitch that green. Not going to do it. So I wanted a green fabric. But then I was like, this is a big girl that could waffle, be around for a while. And I needed to give myself some goals, some milestones. I love a good goal. I love a good checklist. I love crossing things off a to-do list. Oh my gosh, do I love crossing things off a to-do list. So I took the Peacorn, took a picture of it, and then divided it into 20 pages. Now there are actually 24 pages, but one area, let me just show you. This is a 24-page booklet, beautiful booklet, all color, very easy to see. Let me just show you a little snippet. Love that, right? So love the book. This was when I almost decided to try Markup XP, but I haven't gone there yet. But the moral of the story is, see this? There's 4 of those. And I was like, that's not going to count. We'll just throw that into the other edge. So there's technically This is a little half, but this is dense all over, so I'm going to count that as full. So there's 20 boxes. I divided the grid, the chart, into 20 boxes, correlates with the pages. Again, I made my little page grid over here, so, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 was that one page that only had like 2 or 3 boxes straight down the thing. So anyway, that's where we are. So you can see full coverage, I'm 25% done with the stitch. Now, if I was a Markups XP, I could probably tell myself I'm 37.2%, but I'm not. I just do it like this. I'm old school, I'm paper, analog, all the things. But, so what I have done is last time I showed you guys this, I was working on the unicorn. I zigged and zagged. You can see the unicorn's way down here. Have I finished this row? No. Because sometimes I just want to go to the fun. But this time when I picked it up, I was like, no fun for you. Actually, so I was sitting there and Patrick's like, it's all fun. It's all fun. It is all fun. But sometimes you just want to start a new motif. But I decided, no. And here, this is me telling you what I'm going to do, because if I tell you, I might actually do it. So I put her on the board. I did not iron her. I don't like to press her too often. It's silks, it's swagger. I just don't, you know. So, but I did try to smooth her out on my huge design board to show you guys where I am. So you can see, remember the top row, fully done. 25%, woo, done. This middle row is real close. And that's what I was looking at. Even though I went down to the third row to start working on the fun unicorn, I decided, you know, what else do I have to do right here? I have to finish this little bug. Okay, do the bug. What do I have to do? I have to finish this bug. As you can tell, I don't really like the bugs, right? So, but I'm real close. Like right here, it's almost, I just hit the tip top of this flower. Now getting over here, it's a little more dense, a little more spots that are missing. But, okay, this is where I scare myself, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do it. My hope / goal / hold me to it. I can't believe it's already November 14th. So we'll see. And I'm going to get the stitching bug, the Christmas stitching bug. I know it, I am. But if I could get the Peacorn to 50%, meaning my 50%, technically, I don't know. But if I could get 10 out of the 20 pages done before the end of the year, how exciting would that be? So that's my goal. I've decided no more unicorn. No more unicorn for you, Kari. I need to go ahead and just keep. So last time I was stitching on it, I went ahead and worked on this bug. I worked on this bug, moth, bug, butterfly, I don't know. Whoa. Anyway, so I've told myself, no fun for you. Like I said, it's all fun. But stay the course. Get the dopamine hit from crossing off a page. So that is my goal. That is what I am hoping that I can get. I know, I mean, these first 3 this week, I could do it if I did nothing else, no problem. But that's when I see what else I'm doing. That's not how I roll, but we shall see. I would love to go ahead and finish this row and be able to have that be my 2025. I'm not even going to say it out loud. I mean, I'm going to, because here I am, right? But 2026, could I do it? This is dense, but I love a good fill-in. I am not, but this is satin stitches. Will I do satin stitches? TBD. Chances are no. I will just fill it in normal X's because that's my favorite. A good fill-in day or a couple months for the fill-in of that blue might be my jam. I mean, the satin stitches will be really pretty. Probably won't do it that way. I'm just going to be honest. But we'll see. First steps are, first things first. Finish the next 5 pages. Mark them off. Cross them off my list. Now what I do is I just keep this printout right here in my book. It just reminds me what you're doing, what you've committed to, what you want to do, the goals I have made. Again, this is a hobby. These are all fun goals. There's no cross stitch police. Nobody's going to come for me if 2 days from now I decide to have a new start on some ginormous, beautiful Christmas WIP, which, you know, I could do. And I don't touch this for the rest of the year. No big deal. But I sure would love to. I sure would love, because I can't wait for this beauty to be on my wall. This is my aesthetic. I love, love, love it. All right. So unfortunately, friends, that is all the stitching, actually needle to the thread to the fabric, that I've done since I was here last. But stay tuned because I have lots more fun to share. So let's just go ahead and venture into the world of knitting, friends. So as you can see, I am wearing a hand knit, maybe you don't know. I'm toying with the idea of doing maybe once a quarter. I don't knit that often. I like to just mingle all my stuff into one video. But doing just a dedicated knitting update, WIP, progress, goal, kind of pattern roundup video situation, maybe once a quarter. I'm thinking I'm going to start with a finish parade for 2025. But either way, we're going to talk about what I have done that's involving knitting since I was here last. Now today, the outfit of the day is my Petite knit Lyons sweater. I call it Lyons. It's Lyon, Lyon. You do you. This one took me, I don't know. I need to be better about a knitting podcaster, but obviously I did mine with navy blue stripes. It looks kind of blacky in the thing, but it's navy, dark, deep midnight blue with hot pink, my signature color, the striped sweater. Love it. It's blocked. It's finished. I love that it's sweater weather here, and I have a choice of wearing a hoodie, which 90% of the time it's a Clemson hoodie. It is football day, so I will probably change because, you know, you have to do that. But it's sweater weather too, and I love this. Like I said, this is Miss Babs. It's a DK weight. It's her Yowza, just squishy superwash merino. DK sweater is my favorite, just no holds barred. That's it. So the other thing that I did is I went and I pulled, now it's not Cowl, snow, walking the dogs weather yet, but it will be any day now. So this piece I finished knitting last season, but I didn't do the final steps. I won't say good. I'm really not so good about doing that last 1%, which was weaving the ends. This is the Traveler's Cowl by Audrea Mowry, and I knit mine. I don't have a tracker card, project page. I'm not super good at it yet. I'm gonna get better, I promise. But I know it's a Junction Mill Fiber Arts color changing yarn. I'm pretty sure I needed 2 skeins, whatever you needed. But it was Junction Mill, I'm pretty sure. I kitted this up, I think when I was in Tennessee at Market 2 years ago. Anyway, I started knitting it. It's the Traveler's Cowl, which is a really fun, the texture of it is what I loved. I taught me some skills. It's got this nice I-cord edge, which was a little tricky. I went to YouTube University, taught myself how to do it. I'm a self-taught knitter. And by self-taught, I mean YouTube University. That's what I mean by just, you know, watching 27,000 YouTube videos to teach myself how to do it. But I finally seamed up the Traveler's Cowl. Now, me trying to put this on and not mess up my hair. But you guys don't care, right? Oh, but I'm going to cover my microphone. It's down there somewhere. Super cute. I'll have to take it off because I know my microphone is covered right there. So the sound of here is going to be crazy, but it's such a cozy. I'll take it off so you guys can hear me. It's such a super cozy cowl. Knit up real quick. I remember when I knit this up, I was like, oh, I need to make one of these for all my friends. And by friends, I mean like my mom and my sister-in-law and all the things. This will just be a super cozy, I'm not a super scarfy, wrappy, roundy thing situation. But this just knit up, and the color changing yarn did all the work, really. I mean, listen, I knit it, but all the magic was just a result of that yarn. So I will link their yarn down below. Super beautiful. They have a couple bundles. I don't even remember. I'll link the pattern, but I love, love, love this cowl. I do think I want to get a more scarfy shawl? Yeah, no. Maybe one of those on the needles. But in the meantime, I got something else on the needles. Now, if you were here last time, we talked about what I was going to cast on next. And we talked about a sweater that I had put in timeout because I had messed it up. The Azucena sweater, and I'm totally probably saying this wrong. My apologies right now by Claudia Q. So you can see right here. Look at the beauty. Look, look, look. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so this sweater was a knit along in the spring of 24. Spring of 24, actually, she designed it. The Azucena special sweater was especially designed for Chile during 2023. Claudia met with wonderful knitters and crafters there. So it's not a new pattern, but in 2024, Ashley from Paper Crane Yarns kitted up a beautiful, curated, different color. Yellow's not my color. That went beautifully. And so I was like, let's get that. Now, so I started it in spring of 2024. And yes, I did keep it because I wanted to show you guys this. And I don't remember if I showed you last time. If I did, my apologies. But I just want to show you again that don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's just yarn. Now, if I run out, I will go and cry to Ashley and tell her, but I don't think I'm going to. I really don't. So this was my start from the spring. And I think I showed this to you, but I'm going to show it to you again. You see, now you can be like, oh, maybe that's part of the pattern. It is not. It is not. And I would have left it if see the holes? See those holes? If the holes had been consistent, then I probably would have left it and just made it my own little, yeah, that's lace work. Those holes are supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be there. Make one lefts. It was new to me. Like I said, I'm a new knitter. This, I don't know, fourth or fifth sweater. I'm not counting. I should make a notebook so I can talk intelligently. But I was new and I was, yeah, there's the holes. And they're almost consistent. They're consistent in areas, but then I did a couple of them right. The moral of the story is it was make one lefts. And when you go to YouTube University and you watch 17 different videos and you don't have somebody there and you're like, yeah, I got this. And then you do one and then you're like, huh. And then you go a little bit and then you do one again, huh. Moral of the story is they're not supposed to be there. That it has to do with how you're doing your make one lefts. I went ahead and took it off the needles. I did not frog it because let me tell you about the yarn, because I'm afraid, I hope I don't have to frog it. I'll frog it if I need the yarn. Right now, I don't. So there's that. What is the yarn? The yarn, I've got it wound up right here. It's in a little travel bag, bags and bags and bags, you know, the fancy Ziploc bags that live inside a tiger tote. But so, like I said, Ashley from Paper Crane Yarns put together this beautiful collection. So this is the main color. They don't look the same and they're not the same. I mean, she calls them the same. They're Dahlia, I think is her color name. But they knit up beautifully. Gives you that little variegation. I'll show you. It's going to be great. But let me show you the yarn. It is so squishy. I've already told Ashley, like, okay, so when this one comes off the needles, I need another one in this exact fiber content because it is a dream to knit with. When you are knitting, you're like, this is the most luxurious fabric ever. And so what this is it's a fingering and lace weight held double. The fingering is her, I don't think she labels her yarns, like the bases don't have names, but this one is an 80% superwash wool, 10% cashmere, bougie, and 10% nylon. It's a fingering weight, and it's the dried poppies is the color, the Dahlia edition. So I think she called this the Dahlia. I don't remember. No, she doesn't have these sweaters. I will link her down below. I don't think she's done these kits since spring of 24. But then the lace weight is even bougie too. It is a mohair and silk combo. It's 70% mohair and 30% silk. Again, her dried poppies colors, but just fibers take colors different ways, right? Okay, so these are the main colors. Those are two cakes. I went ahead and caked everything up just in case I got ahead of myself. So, but I want to tell you guys a little trick. Now, this is Colorwork sweater. And again, this will be my second color work sweater, so I'm certainly not an expert in any stretch of the imagination. Yarn management, especially because I'm holding 2 yarns together, and then I've got 2 yarns with the color work. So I've got 4 cakes of yarn that I don't want to roll off the couch. I don't know what the experts, what the real people do. I can just tell you what I did, and I'm super excited about how it worked. So just in case you're new and you're like, how do you do this? You can put them in those yarn bowls, you can put them in the yarn cozies, you can put them in all the different things. I didn't have any of those things, so it's like, let's try to find something that I do have. So what I do have a plethora of is these drawstring knit. These drawstring, I call them One Skein Wonders. This was my Crumb bag tutorial. It's just a drawstring bag. I make too many of them because they're just my favorite thing. I'm a saver of all the fabric scraps. Like, I just can't get rid of it. I need to do better. There's not enough tubs in the world for me to keep all these scraps. So but for the time being, I just keep making drawstring bags. Now, do you guys have any interest in having me list some of these in the shop? Probably. I mean, I'm not a knitting bag maker. Anyway, more of the story. I had oodles of these. And yes, it will hold a full cake, but it will also hold 2. Meaning, what I was doing, so inside here is the contrast color. Now I'm done with the contrast color, but you can see there's the beauty. So I had put it in there nicely, and so this was my second one. This is my main color one, and you can see, I just get it all in there. I was shoving it in the bag. So you can see I just have 2 balls, 2 cakes at the bottom of the bag. Now I don't pull from the middle, I pull from the side, and I line it up so that it's going to pull up easily. I close it just a smidge. I don't need to tight it close, but that way when I'm knitting, the balls of yarn aren't rolling all over the couch. And what I would do, you guys are like, this is too much information. Maybe it's not, maybe it'll help one knitter. So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm color work knitting, and I've got 4 cakes of yarn, 4 balls, whatever you want to call them, of yarn that I have to try to manage and knit at the same time. So what I would do is I would put one of these on the left and one on the right. I would put my main color on the right because the main color you're using a lot more, and that's the one. And then so it depends on if you're English or a continental knitter, all the things. But this at least helps me with yarn ball management, so they don't all go over the place and they don't get twisted with each other. I know the first color work sweater I did, my yarns were getting twisted within each other every round I did. Right or wrong, I don't know, but this works magically for me. So I just put these 2 yarns that I'm going together in one side, this on one side, and then when I would come back to the beginning of the round, I would weave it up under each other to kind of twist and make sure that I didn't have a gap or whatever, and that's it. Anyway, just in case it helps you. That's how, so I have bags inside of bags inside of bags. But let's look at the knitting. You want to? Okay, so I'll tell you about my story of where I've been for the last 17 days. It's been a whirlwind of fun, but this was a project that I knew that I could take with me, and I don't need an extra light. I don't need to count. I don't need to think. I can sit there and do where I was going. This was going to be perfect for me. And so I did get it started so that I could feel success and not have holes, right? And I was like, okay, I'm not going to take this if I can't master these. I knew I could master it. I just had to learn, and I did. Okay, hold on. It's attached to my yarn. See, main color. I'm on main color only now. This, as I said, is the Azucena sweater. Now, it is still on the needles. I'm trying to find the back. Okay, the back. There's short rows shaping. There's short rows shaping at the top, and there's also short row shaping in the bust area, which I'm super excited about. That's a new to me technique. So I'm excited to see how that wears. But the color work is done. Now you can see right there, it's a perfect, there's increases, but do you see any holes? No, you do not. Practice makes perfect. And it is not perfect, but practice at least lets me learn the technique and I don't make holes. So that's exciting. So here is my Azucena. The color work is done. I am knitting. I have It's not a very size inclusive sweater. Let me just start right there. No, it is. I'm sorry. It goes up to 4X. That's pretty size inclusive. Extra small to 4X. Yeah, you're good. Maybe not. But anyway, I'm knitting the size large. I did get gauge. I did have to go up a needle size because I'm a tight knitter. I go up 90% of the time. I have to go up a needle size just because I knit tighter than most patterns are written. I always gauge swatch. I am team gauge swatcher. Do I like to do it? Will I do it for a cowl? No, I will not. Will I do it for a shawl? No, I will not. Will I do it for a sweater? 127%. Yes, always. Because this is going to take me days. Now, when I was here last, I said, how great would it be if I wore this to Christmas? I mean, right now I could just wear it as like a little, a shrug. It's a Christmas shrug. But now it's a Christmas shrug. I have already split for sleeves, so that's exciting. You can see I've got like, what, 1.5 inches of sleeves. Now, this is where the tricky part comes in. It's not tricky. But like I said, oh, see this shaping in the back? I'm super excited. I can't wait to see if that bust shaping thing, I'm assuming that's what that's for. I don't know. I've never done I've never done short row shaping right before you split for sleeves. So it makes sense that it's for your bust, right? I don't know. Anyway, I split for sleeves and then I finished that ball of main color. So the kit comes with 3 skeins of the fingering weight and the mohair in the main color. And that's supposed to do the small, the medium, and the large. Now I'm knitting the large, so it should fit. I don't know. It might be a little too, we'll see. So what I've decided to do, rather than continue, usually I won't go ahead and continue on with the body. I'm usually a finish the body and then go to Sleeve Island sweater knitter. And usually, I mean, I've knit like 5 sweaters, so whatever. But this time instead, I was like, no, I can't run out of yarn and not have sleeves. I mean, I guess I could make them 3/4, but I'm not going to. So what I've decided is I finished that one set of yarn. So now I have 4 left and I started on the sleeves. So I'm going to do the sleeves first. So then I'm going to knit the body until I run out of yarn and hope, with all hopes, that it's not a belly shirt. Because the belly shirt is not really the look I'm going for. I just feel like I've already used 1/3 of the yarn and I still have that whole bottom body of the sweater and 2 sleeves, but I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good. I mean, because the contrast color is only just a little bit left at the cuff, but it's lots of main color and then your whole body. So we'll see. I'm excited. It's going to be great. I just know I can't go because it's a hand dyed and all the things. I probably should have, because I was on the cusp of a large kit. I mean, I might have to, get into this and just, scrape by, but I can do it. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. But anyway, this is a lot of progress. Like I said, this wasn't even started last. So this is 17 days worth of work. Yeah, I hadn't started this when I came here last time. Pretty sure I talked about it, that this was coming up next. Or maybe I had started and just successfully not done the holes. I didn't go back and watch. I don't remember. But either way, this is what I worked on mostly while I was gone. And I got a lot of progress. And I'm super excited. Now, it got me so excited that I was like, it could, if I did nothing else, be a Christmas sweater. I have never knit a sweater that fast. That is not who I am. That is not who I am. But it sure would be fun. And right now, I'm in the easy part. It's just stockinetting around. So super excited. I got some football this weekend to watch, tonight to watch. So that's exciting. Oh, I don't want to throw in my contrast color drawstring bag. Like I said, this is my favorite trick. Now, you do need like a garbage bag, project bag to hold your stuff, but that's okay. It's a Ziploc bag. Like I said, this is the one I took down with me to Clemson. So it's got the sweater, the 2 drawstring bags, the Ziploc bag of all the caked up yarn, because I wanted to have it all caked up just in case I was a super knitter. down there. So that is my knitting. Let's do a little bit of Happy Mail that we got in the mail for you guys. I wanted to share with you, and I'm so excited. That Quarter Shop sent a fun little package for me to show you some of their new goodies that they have. So if you haven't seen, this sewing magnet mate is magical. I'm so excited. I have used it. I now keep this by my couch, my chair, my stitchy chair, because not only do I drop cross stitch needles, I drop scissors. Yeah, and it will grab it. It's strong enough to grab, you know, a light, but not a heavy pair of scissors, but a nice little embroidery pair of scissors. You can totally help you find it, as well as my stitch markers. It's kind of just from knitting. The couch eats them, and now I can be like, zip. It's magical. So I got one of these in my sew sampler box, so I love that. This is such a sweet little needle minder. It's called the Quilting Flower. Let's see if we have the pattern that goes with it. I hope so. I saw these. I can't wait to give these a try. I'm going to hopefully kit something up this weekend and be able to utilize these Floss Drops spool. They're such a great value because let's just look to see. I'm trying to see, are they chipboard? Are they plastic? They're okay. You know, it's hard for me to tell when I watch other people's or see them in pictures, and I like to describe to you guys. So they are, it's paper, okay, but it's glossy. Can you see the glossy? It's like laminated, slippery, thick. They don't bend. Cardstock floss drops. Those are really, really nice. Nice big old hole for your ring and a nice even bigger hole for you to put your floss. I'm a floss drop girl, so I love that. And they're nice and thin yet sturdy. So that's super fun. Yay, let's look at this. Yay, the Gardens of Quilts. This is what I'm going to kit up. I'm going to kit that up with these gorgeous drops and start. This is going to be so sweet. Okay. Not that I don't love the bottom. I do love the bottom, but I think just this part would look so cute in my studio. Now, Garden of Quilts is super adorable, but if I just did this, even if I did it, I could do it as a round, as a drum, take this and make it into a nice, pretty drum. Ooh, and wrap it around like a scissor sticker words. You know, like one of those Pete's Biscuits type of round wooden things. I might have to reach out to them and see. I have to do the math and math and things. But if I got one of those that holds your scissor keepers, your scissor keeps, it's pretty, it's gorgeous. But this would be such a cute little wrap around it for your studio or your craft space. It could even be like in a cup if you want to have, or I'll have to do the math. But that's what I'm going to knit. I'm going to knit just the flowers and the spools. I love it so much. I'm definitely just going to pull from stash. She's using Classic Colorworks, or there's a DMC conversion. It's basically just a rainbow of colors. Let's just be real. It's reds and oranges and yellows and greens and blues, and there's no purple, but that's okay. And I can just pull all of that from stash. So, so pretty. Love that so much. Again, everything here is going to be linked down below if you want to go grab it on Quarter Shop and join me. Another thing that is in there is the next one in the hometown neighborhood. It is the sheep house. Oh my gosh. How adorable is this sheep sitting on top of a house? Love that so much. And let's see. We've got one more cross stitch. This is called Foxtrot. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I live in Northern Virginia. And Mount Vernon, which is right on the edge of the Potomac River and the DCs, all the things, right? We're right here. Red foxes are plentiful, meaning like, I don't know what George was doing over there, but they're all here in my backyard all the time. Have you ever heard a fox scream? It is the scariest thing ever. Like when I first heard it, they're not out in Loudoun County where I used to live, not there. Or if they are, they don't scream. But here, it is the scariest, freakiest thing ever. But they're all the time in the backyard. The dogs love them. They chase them, but they chase them only so much that they don't catch them. They never want to catch them, but they like to play. So I think I might have to stitch that, maybe not with all the stuff, but that would be such a cute little ornament just to like not memorialized, but it's a little story of the dogs and the fox friends. Oh, so fun. And then there are 2 quilt patterns in here. This is an adorable one called Vice Versa. This is using the Lori Holt typography collection. I just love the stars. I'm a sucker for a good star. It's a star within a star, so sweet. So the quilt measures 74.5 by 84.5, or you have the option of a table topper or pillow, which is 24.5 by 24.5, or the table runner. Now, one of my friends was telling me about using a square table runner. I talked about it before, and she was saying that she loves to use a square table topper, because I was like, oh, my runners have to be long and skinny. No, they don't. She sent me a couple pictures. I forgot to ask her if I can share with you, so I'm not going to. But she takes a square, puts it on point in the middle of your dining room table or kitchen table or whatever. So adorable. So it totally inspired me to make that Sew Sampler quilt. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but now I'm going to, for a table topper, square. And then the last but not least is called Breezy. This is a quilt collection or quilt pattern. It comes in 4 different sizes: crib, lap, twin, and queen. Wow, it is charm pack friendly. No way. So no matter what size you do, you're using a charm pack for all these squares, and then you just need an accent color for the yellow stars. The yellow stars are yardage, but everything else is a charm pack. That would be so fun. So if you just had 2 charm packs, you could make a crib blanket. That's so fun. 3 charm packs. Now, you could also, remember, charm packs, maybe if you have a layer cake is a 10 by 10 square, right? Math. If you cut that up, I don't remember the math, 42, 50 per bit. Anyway, mathing. If you take a layer cake, I don't want to speak out of turn. Let me grab one. Okay, see, sometimes my brain math and things. Okay, so I went and I have a couple of these layer cakes still left in my shop if you want to grab some, but it's the Sewing Bird from Laundry Basket Quilts. This is the one that we did the Churn Dash quilt for, but it's just the layer cake, beautiful creams and blues, okay? So what if this is a layer cake, it comes with 42 pieces. They're 10 by 10 inch squares. If you cut them into 5 by 5 inch squares, which is a charm pack, you're going to end up with 168 charms, 5 by 5 squares. 168 is you need 96 for a lap or 210 for a quilt. So just keep that in mind. If you have a layer cake, you can at least do the lap size quilt. If you have 2 layer cakes, or if you have charm packs, great. But just using what you have in stash, don't be like, oh, I don't have charm packs, I can't do it. You can always cut up yard edge, or if you have a layer cake, turn your layer cake into charm packs, into charms, and then you can make this super sweet quilt. That would be so cool. I would probably, yeah, this is so fun. Just easy. I bet it is super easy to come together. Anyway, those are the things that Fat Quarter Shop sent us. So thank you so much for Fat Quarter Shop for sending that along so we can get inspired. All right, friends, now we're going to dive into the quilting, a little bit of life update, what I've been up to, as well as a Tiger Lily shop update at the end, telling you guys what I'm going to be having on my website, what am I going to be doing for the next week or 2. So let's start with a little story time. So as you know, or maybe you didn't, but last time I told you guys I was headed down to Clemson for a week, which was so fun. It was homecoming week, and as an alumni, I love to go to homecoming week. There's all the floats and the fun. And a football game that we didn't win, but that's okay. Whatever, it's fun. So, but I had so much fun. I was able to, both my kids are still there. Noah lives there and he works remotely, but he can still live his best life in Clemson. How jealous am I? And then Lily is still there, graduates in T-minus 35 days. So that's exciting. So I was able to visit with them for the week. We had so much fun. I did tailgating with Noah. Doing tailgating with a 23-year-old is a totally different experience when you're not 23 anymore. But we had fun. Like I said, it was a great game. I love a good football game. Win or lose, I love a good football game. So we had so much fun doing that. And then Lily came back and we were just had so much fun doing all the things. We popped all over to Columbia, South Carolina. So I've gotten some messages. I love this so much. Okay, so I kind of just spew these things out and I assume that you should know what I'm talking about, but I forget that lots of my friends are A, all over the country, and B, like sometimes even all over the world. And they're like, what's USC, California? No. Okay, so South Carolina. Clemson is in South Carolina. I live in Mount Vernon, Virginia. But Clemson, South Carolina is where both my kids, one went to school and one is graduating soon. So they're both there. In South Carolina, there's two big state schools, Clemson and USC, University of South Carolina, not California. I would just be devastated if my daughter was flying across the country. I mean, if that's where she needed to go to do her best work, I would support her, but I would be going to visit a lot. Thankfully, it's just a couple hours down the road a different way in Columbia, South Carolina, not Columbia, the country. That was also confusing. I love this so much. Columbia, South Carolina is where the University of South Carolina is, and that's where Lily's going to be continuing her education / research work when post-graduation. Anyway, so we had some fun setting up, getting her set up because T-minus like 45 days until her first day of work over there. So we needed to get where she's going to live and all that set up. So we had fun, a little bit of school, a little bit of fun, a little bit of all the family time. I loved it. But that's when I was able to get a lot of my Azucena sweater done when my kids are at work, at school, whatever. I'm thankful that my day job is just a laptop and can go wherever I need it to go. And as I mentioned, I had gotten my Tiger Lily work, most of it done before I left. So, but while I was there, I was brainstorming, doing all the things. We'll circle back on that when we talk a little bit of a Tiger Lily shop update. But I had to tell you a little bit of story before I got it. So as we're getting ready, we're working in Lily's been in this house for 2 years now. Accumulate a lot of stuff, do all the things. And if you don't know, I've been a maker my whole life, let's be real. Tiger Lily has existed for about 20 years. And for about 10 years of that, somewhere, I don't even know. I used to do commissioned t-shirt quilts. Now, I wasn't doing t-shirt quilts like the average Joe, because that's not really how I do things. I did a different kind of t-shirt quilt, but it got to be very cost prohibitive. As you know, all the materials cost bonkers, and then the labor associated with these things was more bonkers. And so I, at some point, eventually I don't do commission t-shirt quilts anymore. I couldn't in good conscience charge what I needed to charge based on the amount of time that went into said quilt. But that doesn't mean I don't love to make them. I love to make them, especially for family, and it's just a great way, I think, to utilize. I'm not a super fan. I mean, I have tubs of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have tubs and tubs of baby. I don't have baby clothes anymore. I wish I did, because they would have turned into baby quilts. But I wasn't doing it when my kids were babies. I have tubs of things, and so I appreciate that. But I also love, this was my favorite part of creating t-shirt quilts. I created memory quilts for a lot of people, whether it was losing a child or losing a parent, or don't get me started. I love being able to help people do that. But I also, just for the people that are like, Johnny played baseball for 12 years of his life. I've got 12 years worth of jerseys in a tub in the basement. Are they doing you any good in the tub in the basement? No, probably not. You can't, I'm a fan of using them in memories and not keeping just to keep. Whole nother thing, not today's tangent. We'll talk about it later because 2026, but I'm not keeping just to keep. So what we did, this was quite I hope you kept up with me because goodness, I was all over the place. So as Lily is cleaning out and packing and getting things to take over from Clemson to Columbia, we took a trip. She was like, I don't need, she's been wearing Clemson stuff, shirts, sweatshirts, gear since she was born. I have, like I said, those are pieces that I always kept. And she also downsized as she was moving. Now, thank goodness she doesn't watch my videos. So what I decided, I'm going to back you up a little bit. Goodness knows what you're going to see. Hope you're not going to see something you're not supposed to. I brought them home. She's not going to be surprised. She's the daughter of a t-shirt quilt maker. She knows what's coming, but she doesn't know what it looks like. So I came home last Saturday, brought home a bag of shirts that she was done with. She wasn't going to wear anymore. They didn't fit. She'd worn them for years at school. Anyway, whatever it is. And I went ahead and I've made her, now this is going to be hard for me to show you guys, but this is Lily's t-shirt quilt. Now it's just a quilt top. I haven't, sorry, I can't back you up any further to show you guys. Let's see. But it's just, so like I said, I don't do mine exactly the same. I add accent quilt fabric because I think it's fun. I think it breaks up, kind of gives your place, I mean, your eye's not resting too much, but it gives your eyes a place to rest in between each quilt. So like I can remember, this was a sweatshirt when she was 5, 6. So this came from my bucket. Some of these came from her bucket. Like this one, I remember her wearing in high school. Oodles of pictures of her wearing that in high school. And then she gave me one like she was on the newspaper staff at Clemson. So this is, it's called the Tiger. So that's, I was like, you want a tiger on a toilet? I think. No typewriter? I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, lots of fun. So this, I made this quilt top for Lily. And it only took me a day. It was a fun Sunday. And I know I had to use my math brain. That's the thing with T-Squares quilts. There's a lot of math, at least the way I do them. There's a lot of math because what I do is I let the shirts dictate their cut size. A lot of T-shirt quilts, they're just all cut, 12 by 12s or 15 by 15s. All the squares are the same. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, just personal preference. I mean, wheel you back. I like to let the shirt kind of tell us how it wants to go. So anyway, so that, I mean, look at this. Bring Your Daughter to Clemson weekend from 2014. We went to that weekend about 8 or 9 times. Anyway, love. So see this, I feel like this is better than being in a tub. Actually, she was just going to donate the stuff. I was like, are you crazy, Town? We don't do that. So I have her quilt done. I have one for Noah. Noah knows better. My son Noah. He just gives me his buckets. He's like, I'm done with this. And he gives me his buckets of stuff. And then I go and filter through and figure out what I'm going to donate and what I'm going to use to make things. Like, for example, I've made 2 pairs of quilted pants using Noah's old jeans. I mean, you want old worn Levi's, and what's better than ones that a teenager wore? Perfect. And they're beautiful. Anyway. So I have the shirts for Noah's quilt. So that's on the docket for this weekend. Again, so thankfully for Christmas, they don't know, but it's going to be a Clemson Christmas. It's always a Clemson Christmas, but I'm going to give each of them their own Clemson quilt. So that's fun. And I'm going to work on that. Now, I did share that on Patreon earlier this week, and I had a lot of people message me or comment and say, oh, I want to make one. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that, because it is a lot of math. And because I let each shirt be its own, it's not something where I can just give you a pattern, because everybody's collections are different. So I'm trying to figure out how, I do want to share. I mean, I'm not making them anymore to sell. So I want to share and teach you guys how to do it, but I'm still wrapping my head around that. But that's what I worked on quilt-wise. Another thing I wanted to show you that I've made, that I've shown on Patreon, but I don't think I showed it here, were these 2 project bags that I made that were extra for the Churn Dash Quilt-Along. The Churn Dash Quilt-Along ended in October, so fun. These were just 2 project bags that I made from the extra fabrics. And I told you guys that I am not a big fan of waste. Those Drawstring Crumb bags are a perfect example. But this waist was sized so much that I could cut it up and make a Churn Dash project bag. It's just a zip top project bag, nothing fancy, but that's super fun. And then this one is like a string quilty type of one. Again, just another way to use the scraps as well as a checkerboard on the back, because I just had to use all the scraps. So that's just fun. I just love to be able to do that. So that's just going to go in my project bag collection. And then let's talk about what I've got going on with Tiger Lily Shop. Okay, friends, so I have a little bit of Tiger Lily Shop update. If you don't want to know about that, no worries. I will see you next time, hopefully next Friday. I don't have any plans to be out of town, so I should be back here, hopefully with something new to share with you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to subscribe and join the Tiger Lily family. Like the video, comment, all the things just to help the algorithm share and spread the word. If you wanted a little bit of knowledge, a little insight, a little sneak peek into what I'm going to be doing here in the next week in Tiger Lily, stay tuned. I've got some fun for you. Okay, so as you know, the Advent boxes are out. The 12 Days of Stitchman's Advent boxes, which are my babies for all the year long, have all been shipped out, and thank goodness. The first round were all received successfully, except for one. But either way, all the boxes are where they need to go. Made it all the way to Hawaii and Alaska and everywhere else in between. But then I was able to sell the last 7 boxes on Patreon yesterday. So that's an advantage of being a Patreon member, is those things went, I think, lickety split like those last 7 boxes, but they are gone. So thank you to everyone who has gotten a 12 Days of Stitchmas box. I've received lots of messages from my sweet friends who just couldn't resist and opened, whether they opened day 1 or opened day 1 through 12. Your kind words, your love, your support, every sweet message that you guys send to me about what your favorite item was or what you I love every single one of them. I truly appreciate you taking the time to send me the message. As a small business, your feedback is everything to me. And I love that you love something that I put my heart and soul into for a year. So, but there's still more fun. Remember, I will be doing 12 days of videos, December 1 through December 12. Daily videos. We're going to be opening that box, as well as I've received 1 Advent. I know I've got another 1 or 2 coming, so we've got some fun to be opening, as well as I'm going to mix and mingle some other fun making. It's not necessarily a vlog. I don't have the bandwidth to do a vlog, which is like a full-time camera on me all day, every day. Like, wow. But I hope to be able to have at least a little something, whether it's something, in addition to just opening up gifts December 1 through 12. But either way, stay tuned. Lots of fun for that is coming up. But in the meantime, as I'm patiently waiting, now remember, I was in Clemson, I told you guys. And so I had my computer and my sweater. I did bring my Peacorn, didn't pull it out of the bag. But I had my laptop, which meant it was planning time. So what I did for Tiger Lily is I planned the first quarter. I'm so excited for all the things that are happening in 2026. So many things. I can't share with you all the fun, because it's one of those things that once you pop the jack in the box pop open, it's a thing. So, but I'm gonna dribble it out to you as a fun. So as you know, we're doing the Tiger Lily birthday sale. So all of those things have been ordered and procured. And all the way, I have confirmation from the small businesses that everything is gonna be on time, on schedule, coming in mid to late December. I'm gonna do my best, like I said, to turn it around back to you, lickety split. If you missed out because of the way I had to order certain numbers, there's a handful, like literally a handful on the website, because I had to order even numbers of this or certain numbers of that. I have a handful of kits left, a handful of bits and bobs and options left on the website if you want to grab them. Otherwise, I figured they'd sell during January when the kits, but I just left them on the website. They're there. Once they're gone, they're like legit gone. So that's the Tiger Lily birthday sale that's going to start in January. And then we're also going to do some other fun. Stay tuned for Patreon for that. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple polls over the next week or so. You guys are going to help me decide which we're going to do first and which we're going to do second. I've just got so many ideas. I want to do them all right now. That's the problem. But I digress. So as I mentioned, then I went and I ordered, I've got the Keeper Club fabric, the fabric for the January Keeper Club. It might be my favorite. I mean, I say that every time. Let's be real. So this disheveled mess. These are the Keeper Clubs. I have to put October. I haven't put October out yet because I haven't done the unboxing video. But the January Keeper Club, the fabric is on order, but it's delayed. That's okay. I have no worries that we will be able to get this out, we being me, by January 25th. If you don't know what my Keeper Club is, it's an exclusive small business subscription quarterly Keeper Club where you're getting an exclusive keeper as well as 3 to 5 small business exclusive goodies and notions and things and fun. I've procured all of those. They're so good. I just love it when it all comes together and I just have to make all the things. But until the meantime, the fabric's not here yet. So what that means is I came home in my studio, I made a Clemson quilt, and I'm like, okay, so I could be doing all the things. Instead, you know what I did? I went deep diving. This is OG. If you've been around for Tiger Lily for a while, you might know what I'm going to say. OG, I started with keepers. My keepers were born when I went vintage. I went antiquing and I found vintage stitching. I'm like, this vintage stitching, this table linen with the big gravy stain in the middle of it. So nobody's going to use this table linen as a table linen because there's a gravy stain or tomato sauce or whatever it was, the stain. But this vintage stitching part, this doesn't have a stain on it. This one doesn't have a stain on it. And so I made, like you can see, here's my Peacorn. You can see I upcycle, I use vintage stitching and put it on project bags. So I've been collecting vintage stitching for a while. At some point I switched gears. I stopped doing monthly drops. I used to do monthly drops on the 15th of every month. And then I did the club and so now I'm kind of switching. Well, in the meantime, this week, since my club fabric isn't here, I was like, you know what? We're going digging in the vintage stitching. And I pulled out some Christmas. So I have quite a collection of vintage stitching ready to live its new best life one day. Well, right now I've got a micro drop. I don't even want to quantify how big it is because I don't know how big it's going to be, because once my January fabric gets here, I'm going to just, wherever I am, stop, finish, and switch to January because I need to get those started and going. But in the meantime, I'm busy sewing vintage stuff. So this will be a micro drop, meaning at one point when this is, and I don't know the date, as always, my Patreon gets the announcements first. I love my Patreon, and as a way to say thank you to you guys, I always tell you when I put things new on the website, which is why like those advent boxes went, I'm thinking within 45 minutes. I mean, they were gone. I'm anticipating it to be the same type of situation with this micro drop, but I don't know. But if you want to know if you've ever wanted a vintage stitching keeper from me, or there's actually going to be one that's not vintage stitching, but it's also a Christmas themed that I went and pulled from out of print fabric. I'm so excited to share with you as well. But I just want to show you some of the things that are coming. How do you find out about it? Join the Patreon. And within your Patreon, make sure you add your notifications so that you're sent. There's a way that you can manipulate your notifications, whether you get emailed or you don't get emailed. It's all up to you how you want to be notified. There's an app on your phone. It can ping you. You can have it email you, like when I make a post saying, okay, they're for sale, and it will email you. You do you. But that's how you're going to get notified about the drop, is Patreon first. After the first 24 hours, if there's anything left, I will then announce it and share it on my Instagram, which is another place, a great place to find out things. But I thought I'd want to show you some of the things. So it's a collection of project bags as well as project keepers, as well as there's a couple that have just been on the shelves, project keepers. Sometimes I just I get a fabric collection. I'm like, oh, this will be a pretty keeper. It doesn't end up making the cut for the keeper club, but I end up making 2 to 5 keepers, kind of trying out prototyping fabric collections. I kind of do all that just to make sure I get the right perfect match set for the Keeper Club. But in the meantime, I end up with a bunch of extras. They're not extras. They're just different, little tweaks, little different, still fabulous keepers. So those are also going to be in the sale. The sale is going to be a one-stop drop. That's how I love to do things. So that way I can just drop it all and send it all shipping. Anyway, want to see some? So there, I did the project bags are done. I've got 3 project bags. And like I said, they're all, and the reason, how do I choose between keepers and project bags? Again, it's just, I let the vintage stitching tell me what it wants to be. So these beautiful vintage stitching, this was a table linen, big old gravy stain right in the middle of it. It's too big for a keeper. So it had it to be, these are 12 by 15, nice chunky zippers, foam, cross-hatched quilting, all the things, project bags. And then I have 5 keepers. Again, I just let them live their best life. These are just mid-production, but I thought it would be fun because I'm hoping that they're going to be done before next week's video. So I won't be able to show you them because they'll be gone living, look at that fun wreath, gone and living their best life somewhere else. Fun wreath. This was, again, a scrap, but vintage stitching too. It's like a compilation of a herringbone and a vintage stitching and using every piece. I just thought that was fun. Again, these are a lot of work because they're just one of a kinds, but they're my favorite, Okay, so there's going to be, like I said, there's also a micro drop. They're over there. I'm not going to show you two. There's a micro drop, I think, of 5 mini keepers, which are my smaller keepers, also with vintage stitching. So much fun. Little baby bells. Love them. Okay, so I've got that little micro drop coming, as well as I went digging into my stash. Now, sometimes when I make things, I end up keeping some fabric. So if you've been here for a while, you've seen this keeper before. This keeper is my 12 Days of Stitchmas, 12 Days of Christmas. Hello from Liz Matthews. Look at this beautiful partridge in a pear tree. It's just classic Christmas. I love this fabric. This was an exclusive fabric bundle kit collaboration I did with Rachel from Treehouse Fiber Arts. I don't even remember when. It was a Christmas, I'm going to say Christmas of 22 maybe? 23? Out of print, Henry glass fabric. It's just so good. It's like that fabric you put away because it's so good. You're like, I just can't, I can't. It's so good. I love it. It's classic, timeless. Anyway, I went digging. When I went digging to find the fabrics, when I process, collaborate, come up with my vintage stitching collections, I basically just go to my entire collection. Bottom shelf underneath there is like an entire row of Christmas, right? And so I just pull out all those fabrics and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot I had this. I have enough to make 10. So I'm making 10 of these that are also going to drop, but they're going to be a little bundle because this week, today also, my Patreon has asked, they gave me some great ideas and I've made notes and we're going to be doing them starting today. Starting this week, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my scissor keeper. It's not rocket science. I did not invent this. Well, I mean, I didn't invent it. I kind of tweaked it and made it my own, but I'm going to show you how I do it. A scissor keeper was included in last year's Advent. It's not this one. It was a different fabric. I already put it away, but it's just a scissor keeper. What it is, you know, sometimes when you want to have a scissor in your project keeper. Let's just imagine you just want to take your you're going to a stitch day and you just want to take your project keeper with you and everything you need in here. Well, you don't want to, I mean, I don't want to. Just put a loosey-goosey pair of scissors in your vinyl bag. It's going to poke through. It's going to, you know, you don't want it to poke through your vinyl. You don't want it to snap your fabric. You don't want to do any of those things. So I like to keep my scissors safe and I keep them in if I want to have a little cute little matchy is totally my jam. If I want everything to match, I have a scissor keeper that matches the project keeper. So what I have made for those 10, I don't know what I'm going to call it, classic Christmas partridge tree, whatever, it's going to come with a scissor keeper and a pair of scissors. So these were scissors extra from last year's Advent. So I had some of those extras. So I'm making scissor keepers that coordinate perfectly with this. It's going to be a little Christmas bundle set. So those are going to be coming as well. I add a little tiger lily tag. But the thing is I'm going to be doing this. Why? Because I'm going to be filming a tutorial video, sharing on my Patreon. It's going to be exclusive to Patreon for the first 30 to 45 days. I always, it kind of just depends on when I drop it as to how long it's exclusive to Patreon. But it's going to be exclusive to Patreon for at least 30 days. So it's just going to be a sweet little tutorial video showing you guys how I make my scissor keeper. Again, it's not hard at all. And it just protects your projects as well as protects your scissors. So those are coming in the Tiger Lily shop update, as well as last but not least, if you haven't grabbed yours, I have a handful left of Tilda Merry Christmas Fat Eighth bundles. I'm so excited. I've already got it drawn out. Like I said, I was planning like it was my job for fun. I'm going to be doing a table runner, sawtooth star-esque, we'll see. But I'm going to be making a table runner with this Fat Eighth bundle of Tilda Little Mary, and I'm so excited. This is going to be my table runner for the season. I like to make it at least one per season. So this is going to be super fun. I'm going to be using these fun, it's going to have like a featured cutout square in the middle of it. Anyway, I have a handful of those left on the shop if you want to grab those left, because I know that line is super hard to find. And that's it. I'm looking all over the table. Sorry if I'm all like, where is she looking? Yeah. Okay, friends, that is what I've got. Lots of things happening. Stay tuned. I always announce and share first on Patreon. I do want to come back to you guys more regularly as I'm here. I don't have any plans to go out of town, at least until Clemson graduation, which is mid-December. So I will be here doing all the things. I'm going to pop on Patreon. I'm going to pop on YouTube and Instagram and just kind of be present, bring you guys along in all the fun and the making. We're going to be doing so many fun things, quilting and knitting and stitching. Oh my! So until next time, friends, happy stitching.